Good evening, folks. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates.
Barely clear on the backside of the sun, and the liner rotating the earth is located around 3.5 miles southeast of the Earth Canal. The solar wind is also
Good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you might be on this planet of ours. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody here to this program tonight. Welcome very much. We appreciate you all being here. Our buddy from down in the southern part of California, down in the Imperial Valley, Juanito, got here from Westmoreland, California. He was the first one in here. Heather was next, and Demon Catman from England was after that, with Sleeping Volcano making up the end there. But we still have a lot more people already here, and I'm not going to go into everybody that's here, but we appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for that. Folks, we're going to get started this evening by a salute to the United States of America with the Army Barbershop Quartet coming to us from the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. The host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention will give us the nation's Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
I'm sorry we're not going to continue that. As you can see that they hijacked my feed. That's never before happened with my national anthem. And with that, because of that, I'm going to do something I was going to play at the end of this program tonight. I've been looking for a substitute for the United States Army Barbershop Quartet singing the nation's national anthem. I want to take you here to a Canadian hockey game where the microphone dies on the singer that's singing the United States national anthem, and the Canadians pick it up. Sorry, that wasn't the one. There it is right there. Wait till you hear this and see this happen.
And the rockets rent the air, the bombs bursting in air, gave the
Thank you, Canadians. We appreciate that. And now from the United Kingdom. Our buddy, our friend Demon Catman might also appreciate this. Queen Elizabeth in 2001, September 13th, 2001, asked for her royal guard to play the Star Spangled Banner. Wait till you see this. This is ABC News, Peter Jennings in London.
And to continue, here is something visually which we've been talking about in our coverage earlier today, which I must tell you we were really looking forward to. We saw a report earlier today that at Buckingham Palace in London, where Queen Elizabeth II lives when she is in London, the Coldstream Guards, who change the guard, not the Coldstream Guards, but they change the guard every day at Buckingham Palace, as we know, and we are told that at the request of the Queen, the Coldstream Guards band played the Star Spangled Banner. Let's listen.
Would you like to see that one again? That was awesome. The British people crying, openly weeping, while the Grey Stone Street, I can't remember the name of the group. It's a Queen's band nevertheless. But the Queen's band playing the United States national anthem, and people with their hands over their hearts that may not have been United States citizens. That is very touching. Let's take a look at that one more time here.
And to continue, here is something visually which we've been talking about in our coverage earlier today, which I must tell you we were really looking forward to. We saw a report earlier today that at Buckingham Palace in London, where Queen Elizabeth II lives when she is in London, the Coldstream Guards, who change the guard, not the Coldstream Guards, but they change the guard every day at Buckingham Palace, as we know, and we are told that at the request of the Queen, the Coldstream Guards band played the Star Spangled Banner. Let's listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Coldstream Guard from Buckingham Palace, September 13th, 2001, after Queen Elizabeth II asked them to play the United States national anthem. Peter Jennings from ABC News was narrating that. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. Guys, even the British people have a fondness for the American people. And they honor the American friends of theirs in a very big way. Queen Elizabeth loved the United States of America. She loved her country, but she loved the United States. It was obvious. Many times dignitaries would go to Britain to see her, to have an audience with the Queen. She was more than overwhelmed to make them feel at home. So I was more than happy to show you that today. I found it. I was excited to show it. And one of these days, I'm going to play God Save the King. I'm going to play the Canadian National Anthem as well. We owe it to our friends and neighbors, our loved ones over there. God bless you all. Folks, a lot has happened since we met last night. One of the things that happened was over in Arizona, right before we got off the air. They had a huge propane fire out near the airport. I wanted to have Gabby Parra from the Family News affiliate there in Phoenix tell the story.
The strong smell of propane here in the air. As a matter of fact, you want to know how hot this thing burned? Take a look at this front tire of this propane truck. Burned down to the steel wire that was inside the tire here, but the damage of propane tank after propane tank, hundreds if not thousands, and then you go to the rows of cars that were damaged. Let's take a better look here from our AZ family drone, which will show you the damage. I spoke with one fire investigator who told me at least 30 cars were total damage out here, with many more that were also damaged in this fire. You know, the fire, which started at Bill's Propane Service around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Now, when fire crews arrived here, flames were already shooting in the air, and they even described some of those tanks that you hear popping in the background there. They said that they turned into missiles, so you can only imagine making a very dangerous situation for anybody in the neighborhood, as well as those firefighters. They actually had to clear at least a mile radius, and everyone from Gateway Community College to everyone from the Arizona Animal Welfare League had to be evacuated. Luckily, no injuries were reported, but those who witnessed it couldn't believe it.
I went around the corner and came out, and someone else was going, "Oh my goodness, there's a fire. Things are blowing up outside." Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. I hope no one's over there getting hurt. It was terrible.
Yeah, one more look here at these vehicles, a lot of them from Sundance Airport parking. So folks went on vacation or just left town, leaving their cars parked here. They're only going to have to come back to find out that their cars were a complete damage. You know, at the height of this fire, at least 150 firefighters were out here fighting this fire in 115-degree heat. The cause of this fire is still under investigation.
That's incredible. 150 firefighters took to the streets over there just outside the airport in Phoenix to put out that fire. Now he spoke about those propane containers launching themselves like missiles. Let me please explain. I used to be a volunteer firefighter before I was a police officer. We had videos because we also dealt with explosive containers on the road. I spoke to you a while back about a gasoline truck that I handled that was involved in a car accident at about 9 p.m. at night. A car ran a stoplight and plowed underneath the valves on that truck, pouring gasoline all over the hood of their hot vehicle, over the hood of their hot engine, which indeed did throw a fire, but only shortly, because the fire department had then arrived and put the fire out very quickly and kept the truck cool while they turned off the fuel from the valves that had sheared off when the car went underneath the tanker. Folks, what can happen if a tanker is penetrated from the back or the front? It doesn't matter. from either end. It can launch itself into the air and travel miles. It's like a rocket. It'll just launch off the truck and go flying. In this case, there were 5-gallon bottles of propane, there were 10-gallon, 50-gallon, etc. that were popping. So hot they were popping. 2,000, 3,000 degrees at that fire. Now, I'm going to go back to that clip to show you something. Okay? And I will stop it at the point in time that we see what I want to show you here.
Came out and someone else is going, oh my god.
Welfare League had to be evacuated, as well as those firefighters. They actually had to change service around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
See that fire that's going straight up into the air there in the background? That is actually a pressurized propane line. And in the background of this video, you might even hear it. It's under high pressure.
Now, when fire crews arrived here,
Maybe not. I saw another video of that fire last night, and that line was under pressure and it was whining. The propane in that line was whining, trying to get through that valve that was stuck open. That's how bad these fires can get. Okay? I've seen those fires launch straight into the air, hundreds of feet into the air. That can happen. And those propane bottles launch themselves into the air, nearly hitting a fire truck. Nearly hitting a fire truck. They had Phoenix Fire and several other fire trucks there helping fight that fire. They had ladder trucks reaching way up into the air, pouring their, I believe, probably chemical retardant onto the fire. Because propane, if you added water to it, it would spread the fire. So I believe it was a mixture of some kind of fluid to temper the fire. And they also had to figure out how to go in and shut off that propane that was deep into the ground, because I'm sure that's where it was. The tank deep underground, and it's shooting those flames high. Something had to happen over at that propane facility yesterday for this to happen. This does not happen every day anywhere. This probably is a once-in-a-lifetime issue over in Phoenix last night. But this can be a very dangerous situation, and the fire could actually have spread over into the airport. Flights were not delayed. Flights were not delayed from this event. They could have been, but it wasn't. It wasn't close enough to the airport, except for those cars that parked thinking that they could just leave their cars there and they would be okay, but not this time. The cars were completely incinerated like you saw. It's an incredible thing to have happen. So that's what happened in Phoenix last night. Okay? Now, I want to show you some other things as well. Okay? First off, I want to tell you about some earthquakes that have happened since yesterday. Let me pull up my earthquake map here. And this is freshly refreshed, so hopefully USGS won't shut us down here. Okay? Let's start up here in the Pacific Northwest. Okay? Over here near the Puget Sound area. This is Brennan, Washington. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake that happened right up here in the area of the Puget Sound. We've had a great many minor earthquakes and tremors throughout this whole area. Now USGS, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network put out a tremor map. Only 37 tremors yesterday. Go figure. 37 tremors. That's all that they want to tell us about. Now, folks, if I had the time, I could bring up probably 500 tremors in that same area. They're not telling us the truth. Okay? I've shown that before. But here we have a 2.4 minor earthquake over here in Brennan, Washington, in the Puget Sound area. It's not the first, won't be the last. Then I go further south. This is Waterloo, Oregon. Waterloo, Oregon. This is an alleged explosion over here 3 miles north of Waterloo, Oregon. Okay? I want to show you this. Okay? I always like to get down to brass tacks when they say there's an explosion or a quarry blast. Look where this is. Okay? It's on the edge of a forest. On the edge of a forest. And it looks like there may be a road around that forested area. I don't know. I couldn't get close enough to ascertain exactly what was going on. Yes, this could have been an explosion. Okay? This was only a quarter of a mile deep. So yes, this could have been an explosion. Okay? I'm going to give it to them there. Right? Let's back out here, and I can show you some other things that happened here that I'm sure you're going to want to know about. Over here, this is on what they call the Gorda Escarpment. Okay? The Gorda Escarpment is an earthquake fault that runs away from the North California shoreline. Okay? It runs away and runs way west out into the Pacific Ocean. It actually winds its way all the way up to the Kamchatka Peninsula. In this case, look closely where this earthquake is. This earthquake, let me back it out here, this is at the Triple Junction, where the Gorda Escarpment meets the Cascadia Subduction Zone. The Cascadia Subduction Zone is this almost straight north earthquake fault that runs parallel to the shore of California, Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, and it goes off, just offshore of British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia, and it also goes over here to the southern end of Queen Charlotte Island here. Queen Charlotte Island is that island to the north. Vancouver Island is the island to the south here. Okay? But it goes all the way up there. But guess what, guys? I've got news for you. They're not showing anything happening anywhere near Queen Charlotte Island. Guess what, guys? They're not showing everything. Okay? I want to show you this. This is 54 miles south of the village of Queen Charlotte, British Columbia. This is a 1.17 earthquake. There's two of them here. This is a 1.17 magnitude earthquake just off of British Columbia, Queen Charlotte Island. Now, just south of it, it's a not a twin earthquake. This is actually a 3.0 small earthquake. Well, you see it there. That's a 3.0 small earthquake, just off the coast of Queen Charlotte Island, British Columbia. Okay, so you see that. USGS never tells us about that, or rarely tells us about that. Okay? But, folks, there's more. Naturally, when I bring this subject up, there's always more. Always more. Down over, just barely off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia, Port Renfrew. Port Renfrew. Right there. Port Renfrew, British Columbia, we have another earthquake. Go figure. Go figure. That was a 1.14 tremor. 1.14 tremor. And naturally, we had that other earthquake over in Brennan, Washington. Not a problem. Not a problem. But they also did not show you what I'm going to show you now. Okay? They didn't even put it up. You know, I wonder sometimes. This is Waterloo, Oregon. This is a 1.59 magnitude earthquake near Waterloo, Oregon today. 1.59 magnitude earthquake. Yeah, folks, it does happen. Then we have this other earthquake that runs parallel straight out from that earthquake I told you about. Okay? Just off the coast. Look at that. See that earthquake there was at the triple junction where the Gorda Escarpment meets up with the Cascadia Subduction Zone, which also meets up with what else? The San Andreas Fault. Kimberly Hopkins just gave us another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Kim. We appreciate that. God bless you for that. We really do, really appreciate that. That means a lot to us. I appreciate it so much. But anyway, out here to the east, this is Almanor, California. Remember Almanor, Lake Almanor, where we had a 5.5 and a 5.7 magnitude earthquake here just about 2 months ago, as well as a lot of aftershocks here. Today, this is a 2.1 aftershock from the 5.7 and the 5.5 earthquakes that hit here. This area is still rocking and rolling. Don't let them say that it doesn't happen. It is still happening almost on a daily basis, whether they want to show it to us or not. Lake Almanor is still getting hit with earthquakes. Okay? Crazy as it is, it's happening. Okay? Now I want to go around the world and show you what's going on. Alaska, they're just mostly minor earthquakes and tremors. All the way up here just south of the Arctic Circle. This is a 1.6 tremor up here just south of the Arctic Circle. That grayish brown area that runs in a circle there is part of the Arctic Circle. It's the tundra area of Alaska. And this we have a 1.6 tremor here, and just south of that we also have another 1.6. And they're saying this is northern Alaska. No, it's not. Northern Alaska is up here. This is just probably south of northern Alaska. This is like central Alaska. Central Alaska. And down here over by Denali National Park, we've got a 2.3 minor earthquake, just like I told you. 2.3 minor earthquake just north of Denali National Park. Over to the west, this is a 1.3. USGS has a bass backwards. Okay? Bass backwards. This is a 1.3 tremor. 16 miles west, northwest of Denali. USGS has it as east-southeast. It's not. This is definitely north of Denali. Okay, so this would be west-northwest of Denali. Again, a 1.3 tremor. Over here, this is, they say this is west-southwest of Denali. It's not. This is just barely on the southern side of Denali National Park. It's a 1.0 tremor, and that's all. Yes, we do have some earthquakes here to contend with. This is a 3.5. This is down in the Cook Inlet. The Cook Inlet. This is probably about 50 miles south of Anchorage. 50 miles southwest of Anchorage. This is a 3.5 magnitude earthquake, a small earthquake. Okay? A small earthquake. Almost directly north of that. They say this is near Beluga, Alaska. Folks, this is just barely north of Mount Redoubt. Mount Redoubt, it's a 1.3 tremor. Okay? We go further south here. We go down to just north of Old Ililama Volcano. This is a 1.1 tremor north of Ninishik, Alaska. We go down over to Old Ililama Volcano here. We have a 2.4. A minor 2.4 just on the southwest side of Old Ililama Volcano. And right there below it, we have another 1.3 tremor. Okay? So tremors at the volcanoes. Interesting story. Another volcano down here. Okay? This is a 1.3. This is a 1.0. South of there is another 1.3. Go figure. Then we have another swarm of tremors here. Another swarm of tremors here at another volcano. Go figure. This is Karluk, Alaska. It's a minus 0.2 tremor. Minus 0.2 means it's above sea level on a mountain. On a mountain. This is right next to the volcano here. This is a 0.7. And you can see these other swarms here. These are also at volcanoes. You can see it. Okay? I'm only going to show you one or two of these here. This one here is a 0.5 microquake. A microquake. And this one down here to the south is a 0.8 microquake as well. It's in this same area, this same region as all of these volcanoes. Okay? It's magma. Magma infill going to those volcanoes. They're all recharging. Over on the southern end of Kodiak, Alaska, this is a 2.7 earthquake. The south end of Kodiak, Alaska. Over on the western side, this is a 1.7 tremor. Just offshore from Kodiak is a 2.9 earthquake. A 2.9 earthquake again over here in the Cook Inlet area. Okay? We go over here into the Aleutian Island chain. Over here near the Rat Islands, we have a 4.0 moderate earthquake in the Rat Islands. We've had a lot of 4.0 earthquakes all around the globe during the past week and a half. For the first time in forever, this week, we had days this week where we didn't even have a 5.0 earthquake. They were all 2s and 3s and 4s all around the entire world. Okay? I didn't ever think I'd be able to say that. But this week, that's what happened. Okay? Then we go over to the Sea of Okhotsk. Okay? This is also a 4.2 earthquake just off the coast, just east of Russia, in the Sea of Okhotsk. This is also a 4.2 moderate earthquake. This is north of Hokkaido, Japan. And what they're also not telling you is we had another 4.5 earthquake over here in the Kuril Islands. Over here in the Kuril Islands. The Kuril Islands belong to Russia. Okay? They don't show anything in Japan. That's also a heartache for me, since I know we've had at least 3 4s over in Japan area. Okay? It's crazy. It's insane. I don't get it. I don't get it. I could show you something. In fact, I will. This is Japan, guys. Look at that. USGS not showing anything? Just off the coast of Honshu. Let me pull this up here. over here just off the coast of Honshu, right here where that finger sticks out into the Pacific, that is a 3.9 magnitude earthquake there. A 3.9 earthquake. That's a small earthquake, or we could go one strike above it, which would be a 4.0 moderate earthquake. That's probably what it was. Just south of there, we have a over here on the mainland of Japan, we have a 2.8 earthquake, minor earthquake. A minor earthquake over on the landmass in Japan, 2.8 earthquake. Now, over on the western side of Japan, this is near Omachi, Nagano, Japan. It's a 1.9, I hate it when that happens. It's a 1.9 tremor at Oma Nagachi, Japan. Okay? Crazy. Yes, Japan does have earthquakes. A lot of earthquakes. Now, I'm not going to point out any earthquakes specifically. Over here in Indonesia, you can see all these earthquakes here in Indonesia. Okay? Why is it that USGS decides, oh, we don't need to know about that? We don't need to know about all these earthquakes that hit here, because they're only showing us actually 2 earthquakes. One over here off the southeast coast of Sumatra here, it's a 4.8 earthquake. Moderate earthquake, upper level 4. If that was on land, people might have felt it, but it was out off the coast. Nobody probably felt it. The ocean waters absorbed the shock wave. Down here east of Java, they have another earthquake that's also a 4.9, 5.0 earthquake. I will not buy the idea that we had a 4.9 earthquake. We have seen what the 0.9 society has done. They don't like admitting to anything, let alone having a large earthquake. And that's what I believe this was today. It was right on the fault line. You can see that red fault line right here. Okay? It was indeed a 5.0 earthquake, regardless of what the agency says. They can smack me in the face. And last night, I had someone leave me a message and I erased it, and then I thought, why did I do that? Because this man threatened me. He said, Ron, you better watch yourself when you talk negatively about the USGS. You need to be careful. You shouldn't be talking negative about the USGS. Threatening me. Making a threat. Not specific, but a threat. Saying that I better stop talking negatively about the agency. Okay? Now, I want to show you something. They showed one earthquake over here off the coast of Sumatra. Look at this. Not one, folks, but 5 earthquakes over here. Actually, more than that. There's 5 earthquakes, I'm sorry. 5 separate and distinct earthquakes over here in Sumatra. On the north side, actually this is the center part of Sumatra on the south side of the island of Sumatra. A 3.2 and another 3.3, almost identical earthquakes. Okay? We go south, we have a 4.8, which may also have been a 5.0. 4.8. Next to it, a 2.7. Then, south of there, we have a 2.9, and just south, over on the north end of Java, the northwest end of Java, we have a 3.5. A 3.5. Now, something else happened over here near Java. Okay? It's called a volcano. Can anybody tell me? No, it wasn't the Richter guy. It was not the Richter guy. I wish it was, because I would hold his face to the fire. I would hold his face to the fire. I don't much like the guy, but I got threatened by this other guy. Yes, it could have been the same dude. I don't know. Okay? I can't pronounce your name here. ANEESAAARABIANS. You cannot speak about another channel on our chat. Please do not do that. Your message was deleted. Yes, I am aware that someone else also said this earthquake was going to happen. Well, guess what? I've been talking about it for quite some time. Okay? That other guy doesn't have the key to everything. Okay? I also find out about stuff. I also have a brain. Okay? Over here, this is Krakatoa. Krakatoa volcano erupted. Did you guys realize that? The Krakatoa volcano erupted today? A big deal. A big deal. It's been erupting off and on for quite some time. Quite some time. It wasn't a huge eruption, but it was still an eruption at Krakatoa. Okay? Now, would you like to know the other earthquakes and tremors and volcanic eruptions that happened in Indonesia today? Let's start talking about that. Okay? Over at Krangatang volcano over in central Indonesia erupted up to 8,000 feet today. 8,000 foot eruption. Okay, I'm going to show you where it's at. It's over on an island over here. Okay? And no, I can't pronounce the name of the island. If I did, I'd still get it wrong. Okay, it's spelled Sangihe. Sangihe Islands in Indonesia. Krangatang volcano erupted up to 8,000 feet. Also over there in the central part of Indonesia, near Halmahera, Indonesia, Mount Ibu erupted. A 7,000 foot eruption. Dukono volcano, which is over there as well near Halmahera, Indonesia, also had a 7,000 foot eruption today. So we had 3 volcanoes over here, 4 actually, 4 volcanoes in Indonesia erupt today. Okay? That was just there. Okay? We're going to keep going here because we have a lot to talk about tonight. Okay? Over here on the southern end of Japan. Okay? On a wonderful little island. All these islands are all volcanic, guys. All these islands are all volcanic here. That's how they came to be. Over here, just on the southern side of Japan there, we have another volcano. It's called Suwanosejima. Or excuse me, Suwanesejima. Suwanesejima. It's over here in the Ryukyu Islands, south of Japan. This also erupted up to 7,000 feet today. Fun, huh? Volcanoes all over the place erupting. Then, over, I believe it was in Kyoto, southern Japan. Let's go further north. I believe Kyoto is one of these volcanoes here in southern Japan. Okay? This other volcano in Nishijin, Gosh, I knew I was going to blow it. Nishihino-shima, Japan. The volcano erupted up to 10,000 feet. Nishihino-shima, Japan. The volcano erupted up to 10,000 feet high. All around the Ring of Fire. All around the Ring of Fire. Now, I'm going to go north really quick just to say we told you so. Okay? There is another volcano over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula. It's called Klyuchevskoy Volcano. A 12,000 foot eruption from Klyuchevskoy Volcano here at Kamchatka Peninsula. Wild. Wild. And the steam and ash from that eruption is blowing eastbound over the Aleutian Islands and over the Bering Sea here, headed towards Alaska. Okay? But there have been bigger volcanoes erupting tonight and today. I'm going to talk to you about those in just a minute. Okay? Now, Australia. USGS shows no earthquakes there. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because there are. Okay? There are some earthquakes. Over here in northwestern Australia, near Jackitup, Western Australia, we have a 2.58. Darn it, I hate it when that happens. We have a 2.58 magnitude earthquake over here in southwestern Australia. The agency's not talking about it, are they? Heaven forbid. That's okay. That's okay. Over in northwestern Australia. Northwestern Australia. Folks, this is an even larger earthquake. This is near Lake Argyle. This is a 3.5 earthquake near Lake Argyle, Western Australia. The agency's not talking about it, are they? Nope. Nope. That's all right. We'll forgive them this time. Now, over here in Papua New Guinea, okay, this is a 5.0 earthquake. Papua New Guinea. 65 miles north-northwest of Fishoten, Papua New Guinea. Just about a month or so ago, we had a 6.0 here. Same area. So this may be an aftershock of that quake. This might have been an aftershock of that quake because it's happened after the fact. And it's a lower magnitude. Probably an aftershock. Isn't that interesting? Now, we're only showing 3 earthquakes here in the South Pacific. I wonder why. I wonder why. Now, over here in the Solomon Islands, this is a 4.5 earthquake. A 4.5 earthquake. A moderate earthquake. Okay? A moderate earthquake. This is near Santa Cruz Island, Solomon Islands. Okay? Then we go southeast. Okay? This is New Caledonia. This is New Caledonia. This is a 4.8 magnitude earthquake near New Caledonia. This is out in the ocean here, east-southeast of Tadine, T-A-D-I-N-E, 148 miles east of Tadine, New Caledonia. If it had been on land, one of the islands, people might have felt it. Felt some light shaking. I can't even say light anymore either. Felt shaking. Pictures rattling and possibly falling off walls. Yes, that can happen with a 4.5 earthquake. Knocking books off of shelves, knickknacks go flying off of shelves with a 4.5 earthquake, a moderate earthquake. Okay? Then we go over to south of Oahu, This is 89 miles south of Oahu. This is a 5.5 large 5.5 magnitude earthquake. A 5.5 large magnitude earthquake south of Oahu. Okay? The ocean waters absorb that shockwave too. A 5.5, if it had hit land, could have destroyed villages there. A lot of shaking going on. 5.5 is large enough to cause damage, injury, and possibly kill people. Okay? It can knock out power. It can destroy homes, businesses, and everywhere here in Los Angeles or any other large city or any other city, period. Okay? But again, okay, they don't show anything further south than Tonga, do they? Nope. Down here in the Kermadec Islands, we have a 4.95 5.0 earthquake. A 5.0 earthquake here in the Kermadec Islands, just north of New Zealand. And look at all these, okay? Look at all these. That was a 4.95. Look at all these other earthquakes here in New Zealand. Yes, there's been some 4s here. Okay? Most of these are just 2.4, 2.5, 3.5, 3.9. Okay? I'm going to start over here in the Bay of Plenty. It's called the Catcher's Mitt. This is a 2.87 in the Catcher's Mitt. Okay? Let me zoom in here to New Zealand so you'll see it on this map here. That is what we call the Catcher's Mitt or the Bay of Plenty. The Bay of Plenty is a proper name for it. Okay? On the eastern shoreline of northern New Zealand, off the northern island of New Zealand, is Gisborne, New Zealand. We have a 2.34 earthquake. A 2.34 earthquake, Gisborne, New Zealand here. Okay? I'm sorry, that wasn't it. There it is right, doggone it. There it is right there. Okay? South of there, Hawke's Bay. This is a 3.11. Small earthquake near Hawke's Bay. Okay? Let me zoom in here. That is Hawke's Bay right there. And it hit on land, folks, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, right there. Literally right there. Just south of there is Wanstead, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. This is a 2.55 magnitude earthquake, just south of there. Okay? They didn't say anything about that, did they? Oh no. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back up here to the Bay of Plenty. I want to show you this. Usually I don't get a chance to show you around New Zealand or Europe or anything else. I'm going to take my time here. This is Hamarana Bay of Plenty, New Zealand. It's a 2.47 earthquake, just south of the Bay of Plenty. Okay? Then we go further south. This is near Keenleith, Waikato, New Zealand. This is a 2.93.0 earthquake. Now, that is down here north of Taupo Lake, right here. This is Waikato, New Zealand here. Now we're going down to the southern end of Taupo Lake. Folks, Topo Lake is a supervolcano. It's a supervolcano. Should anyone be worried here? Yes. This area is getting hit with tremors and earthquakes every day. Tremors and earthquakes every day. Folks, this is a 2.3 minor earthquake at Topo Volcano. Topo supervolcano, a 2.43. Then I want to show you this. This, folks, is just east of another volcano near Desert Road, Waikato, New Zealand. This is a 2.54. Notice the volcano that's nearby. This is just east of that volcano. You can see that here on this map that I've got in front of you here. But again, nobody's showing that, are they? Okay? I don't often do this, but I'm doing it tonight, aren't I? Yeah. Now, let me pull this map out. Over here in this region here, okay? This is just south and east of that volcano there. This also is Ohangai, Taranaki, New Zealand. Harangai, Taranaki, New Zealand. This is a 2.52 earthquake. A 2.52 earthquake. Interesting. Then let's go down here to the South Island. I just love this. I really do. I get a charge out of this. Okay? This is also a 2.71 earthquake. This is Beatrix Bay, Marlborough, New Zealand. Doggone it. This is Beatrix Bay, Marlborough, New Zealand. It's a 2.71 earthquake. Okay? Then we go over to Christchurch. Right down over here. This is Kaikoura, Canterbury, New Zealand, right near Christchurch. This is a 2.79 earthquake. A 2.79 earthquake there. Then, folks, we go west. This is up Buller Gorge, East Coast, New Zealand. Okay, this is a 3.5, darn it, this is a 3. Doggone it. I have these game ads constantly infiltrating my phone. I have to deal with these idiots. Anyway, this is a 3.5 earthquake, 3.15 miles deep. A 3.1 earthquake over there. I wonder what else is going to happen. That was right there. A 3.5 earthquake there. Okay? Then we go south. And I love this place. Okay? Now I'm going to shrink this map down just a little bit so you can see the earthquake fault. Okay? This fault comes all the way down out of Tonga. Right there. You can see the fault there. It's a great big huge undersea ridge, the Tonga Ridge here. It also has another fault right next to it that's not even lit up anymore. USGS used to put a red line here as well. It's the Fiji Trench here. Okay? It also runs right straight through the North Island of New Zealand. Runs straight through the North Island of New Zealand, and in fact, it goes right straight through the Topo volcano and right straight through to this other volcano. Then it comes out here. Comes back out here into the Cook Strait. We had the Cook Inlet in Alaska, didn't we? This is the Cook Strait here. This earthquake fault goes out this way. It goes out this way on the eastern side of the South Island, whereas the Tongan Fault comes out this other way. Comes out this other way, skirting the west coast of New Zealand here, where we had that other earthquake, didn't we? Okay? We had that 3.5 there. Okay? Then it comes down here along this mountain range. Along this mountain range. This is South Park National Park, New Zealand. South Park, New Zealand. Folks, we have a 2.39 earthquake there. We have a 2.39 earthquake there. South Park, New Zealand. Okay? So I've taken the time to show you that. Okay? Let's make a tour over to the Middle East. Right there. Okay? Let me bring that up on the USGS map. Okay? We go over here to fake India. Fake P-H-E-K India. This is northeast India. This, folks, is a 4.0 earthquake. Okay. Granted, that's okay. That's fine. What else happened here? Right up here, I'm going to show you this. This is southern Zhejiang, China. Southern Zhejiang, China. It's a 4.1 earthquake. Okay? And you can see these other earthquakes over here in Iran and Iraq. Okay? Look at all these earthquakes. Now, I'm not going to hit everyone. I'm just going to tell you about them. Up here in northern Iran, we have a 4.5. Moderate earthquake, huh? Down here, and this is the Owen fracture zone in the northwest Indian Ocean. This is a 4.5 in the Owen, what they call the Owens fracture zone. Okay, this is just southeast of Saudi Arabia. Okay, we go north into Iran. We have a 3.3 and another 4.1. They're not listed here, are they? The only earthquake they're listing is right here. This is a 4.1 near Hyderabad, Iran, and that's okay. Over here near the Caspian Sea, the southeastern side of the Caspian Sea, this also happens to be in Iran. There's a 4.5 there. But down here, there's a 3.2. Not saying anything about that. On the western side of the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan, we have a 3.3. Now, how did any of these earthquakes get there? Okay? How did they get there? Folks, we have a huge fault zone coming up here from the southwest side of Sumatra, don't we? We have a huge fault zone. This runs up over here just east of India. Okay? It comes up here into the Himalayan mountains. Comes all the way through the Himalayan mountains here and goes all the way through Iran right here. Okay? That is the fault zone, guys, coming out of the Himalaya mountains. Okay? Runs all the way over here to the Caspian Sea. That's why we have these earthquakes here. Okay? All that energy that we've gotten out of the South Pacific and out of the South China Sea, the South China Sea, goes up into Myanmar, goes out into India, goes through the Himalaya mountains, and comes out through Iran and Iraq here. All the way home over here to the Caspian Sea. And I just got through showing you that 3.3 over here on the central Caspian Sea. South of there is a different story. Same reasons, but a different story. Two different earthquakes down there. It's a 1.9 and another 1.9 near the Iran-Turkish border. Iran-Turkish border. Now, with that said, look at all the other earthquakes here. See that 50 earthquake package there? 50 plus earthquakes? It's more like 70 earthquakes over there in Turkey and Syria. About 70 earthquakes over here in the Turkey-Syria area. Isn't that just fine and dandy? About 70 earthquakes right here, as well as earthquakes to the southeast and earthquakes to the west of there here in Turkey, all over Turkey. Okay? They're not showing here, are they? They never will. Most likely never will. Look at all these earthquakes here. Okay? 10 plus earthquakes over there. Look at all these earthquakes in Turkey. Look at all those earthquakes. Yes, most of those are 1.9s, 2.3s, 3.5s, and such like that. Northern Turkey over here, 1.2, northwestern Turkey. We go south. This is a 2.8 near Burdur, Turkey. 2.8. Like you said, they range in size from 4.3s to 2s and 1s, all throughout this area. Here's another one. It's a 1.2 here. Okay? Then we go over here. Then we go over here to the Volcanoes Islands on the west side of Turkey. Volcanoes Islands belong to Greece. We have a 1.6 and a 1.9 in the Volcanoes Islands up there. Right here in the Volcanoes Islands. We go south, also in the Volcanoes Islands, just off the coast of Turkey, we have a 1.8 and a 1.7. 1.8 and a 1.7 in the Volcanoes Islands down to the south. And there's more. A 2.2, 2.7, 2.3, 1.6, and a 1.8. Okay? 1.8. And those stupid ads from Google Play still pop in there from the Play Store. I tried to ignore it, just keep on moving. Then we go over to the central part of the Med, north of Crete. We have a 1.8 and a 3.0. 1.8 and a 3.0 just north of Crete. Isn't that interesting? On the west side of Crete, we have another 3.1. Now, how does this happen? Why are we having these earthquakes again? Okay? We talked about that great big fault that continues to run, and it runs all the way to the Andaman Fault. I think that's how they pronounce it, the Andaman Fault, over here in Turkey. That's where we had that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. Okay, we showed you the data from that. There's no way it was a 6.8, 7.4 earthquake. Not a way. No way in heck. That was a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. We're still having aftershocks from that. Okay? It's still happening. But that earthquake fault runs all the way over here. You can see it here coming out of Turkey here. It kind of goes up and down through the island there. I think that's the, I can't remember the name of that island there. I think it starts with a C. I'm pretty good historian and geological person, and I've gotten to know this area fairly well. But anyway, there's an island there, and that earthquake fault goes around that island and over here just south of Crete. And occasionally, Crete will get hit with a large earthquake as well because of this same fault line. The fault line will drop that earthquake right dead center in Crete. And we're still getting earthquakes over here on the western side of Crete. Okay? Then that fault goes over here on the western side of Greece. Look what happens. Now, not all of these earthquakes are very big, okay? Most of these here in Greece are 1.0s, especially over here near the what do they call it? This is the oh gosh, this land of water, or not land of waters, this body of water that goes through Greece here, okay? I don't know why my brain's fizzling out on me tonight, but there's a body of water, okay? It runs over here from the Med, cuts through Greece here, and around here we have a bunch of minor tremors for the most part. Occasionally we'll get some 2s and 3s, but for the most part right here. Okay, this is Patras. Patras, guys. What do we remember about Patras? Patras is a city named after the Apostle Peter. Okay, these are 1s. 1.4, 1.1. This is a 1.4 here. All throughout this area, guys, we're seeing a bunch of 1s, and that's about it. Okay? We can go north into northern Turkey. Now we're getting into 2.5s. We're getting into 2.5s. 1.6 just south of that in Drama, Greece. D-R-A-M-A, Greece. Drama, Greece. Okay? Then, folks, we're going to go further west. Okay? We know we've got a bunch of earthquakes over here just in the, is it Adriatic? It might be the Adriatic Sea here. Okay? We go back out into the Mediterranean here. We go over to Sicily and Italy here. Woohoo! Yes, the earthquake fault comes up here into the shoe of Italy. The bottom of the boot of Italy here. The fault goes right here between Italy and Sicily. Okay? And goes right out here. Okay? What do we have here? 2 more volcanoes. Mount Etna is out here. Mount Etna. And there's another volcano, I can't remember the name of it, Stromboli. Mount Etna and Stromboli volcanoes is out here. This is also on the edge of the craton here. The edge of the plate. Okay? The tectonic plate goes right through here. And yes, we have some earthquakes. We always have earthquakes here. This is Sicilia, Sicily. We have a 2.1 and a 1.3. 2.1 and a 1.3 there. Okay? Over in the ocean here. This is over just west of Sicily. This is near, they're saying, this is near Filicudi, Porto, Sicily. I know I just butchered that. It's a 2.2 magnitude earthquake. And almost never do they ever show these earthquakes. That's why I'm showing them here tonight. Everybody ought to know it. Nowhere in Europe do they show any quakes. Nowhere. Over here near Marsh, Italy, guess what? We have 20 quakes there. 20 plus quakes. probably close to 25 if I counted them right earlier. Okay? South of there we have a couple others over here on the other coast, the north coast of Italy here. Okay? This is a 1.9 here, Apulia, A-P-U-L-I-A, Apulia, Italy. Just a moderate 1.9 tremor. Just a small tremor. Near Campania, Italy. This is a 1.0 here. Okay? Like I said, over in Marcia, they had those 20 plus quakes, didn't they? Yeah. But they're not showing those. They're not showing those. It's actually about 21, I'm sorry, not 21, 25 quakes. And all of these are minor tremors. All of these are nothing but minor tremors here. Okay? Crazy. Crazy. That's Italy. That's good old Italy. Now, while USGS didn't say anything about the earthquakes in Europe, over in Switzerland, the Swiss Alps. This is a 2.3 in the Swiss Alps. Let's go visit the Swiss Alps here. A 2.3 in the Swiss Alps. We go over into the Italian Alps over here to the west, we have a 1.3 tremor. We go further towards France, or no, it's still in Switzerland. We haven't gotten to France yet. We have a 1.1 and a 1.0 there, just over in the foothills of the Swiss Alps. We go north. This is Germany. We have a 2.0 here in Germany. Doggone it. I hate it when they do that. This is a 2.0 in Germany. North of there, this is also Germany. North Germany, it's a 1.0 here. 1.0 tremor here. Again, look where this is. It's in the mountains of Germany there. So that is a natural craton there in Germany. We have that craton going through the Swiss and French and Italian Alps there. That's a craton there. We go south and west. Folks, this is another 2.3. And this is in the southern Alps in France. This is in the southern Alps in France. It's a 2.3 earthquake. Just a 2.3 earthquake up there, right here. In Spain, we have some earthquakes, don't we? We have 2 earthquakes down south and 1 up north. The 2 down south are just minor. And actually, one of them is on the earthquake fault, just east of the Strait of Gibraltar. This one in southern Spain is just a 1.6 tremor. South of there, just east of the Strait of Gibraltar, also on the earthquake fault, this is a 2.0. That's a 2.0, guys. Then, let's go north. Let's go up to the border of Spain and Portugal. We have 3 earthquakes up here. We have a 1.5, a 2.1, and a 2.6. A 1.5, a 2.1, and a 2.6 earthquake. Minor earthquakes up there at the border of Spain and Portugal. Then we go south. Go south, young man. Okay, this is a southern beach area or port area of Portugal. This is a 1.9 tremor down here. A 1.9 tremor over there just on the southern side of Portugal here. Right down there. It's right next to the Azores, guys. Right next to the Azores. And south of there, that earthquake fault that was down there on the east side of the Strait of Gibraltar, this is Cabo de San Vicente, Azores. This is a 3.3 earthquake. A 3.3 earthquake. Such a deal, huh? That says, I'm sorry, they blew that. They moved me down to the Canary Islands. This is a 3.3 earthquake up here in San Vicente, Azores. Just off the coast of Portugal out here. It's on that same earthquake fault, guys, that came out between the Strait of Gibraltar right here. Okay? Just about, I want to say, maybe 40 miles west of Portugal is where that 3.3 is. Okay? Then I want to take you over to the Canary Islands. This is such a trip. Over here into the North Atlantic. This is north of Tenerife. This is a 2.1 earthquake. 2.1. Just on the southeast side of Tenerife. We have another 2.1 and a 1.7. 2.1 and a 1.7 right there. Then, folks, we go south of La Palma. Remember La Palma Island? La Palma Island, where we had the Cumbre Vieja volcano up here? South of there, right there, we have an earthquake there. This is a 2.7 earthquake south of La Palma Island. Now, while we're talking about that, let me open this up here so you can see what I'm talking about. Down here in the Canary Islands, just south of La Palma. Okay? Remember when La Palma, or the island of La Palma, was undergoing a huge volcano going on, an eruption. Up here on the north side of La Palma is Cumbre Vieja volcano. Further south down here on the spine of the island, this is where we had the eruptions. Great big fissures erupted here. Great big fissures erupted here, and we had a volcano going on. It was part of the Cumbre Vieja. That went on for months. It started in September. I think it ended in March. Okay? What happened? Folks, when islands erupt, before the island even starts, there's an undersea volcano. They usually call it a seamount. Okay? Then the lava gets thicker and thicker, and the island rises out of the ocean, which is what happened here. All the islands, this happens. Okay? We had that eruption down here on the southern spine of La Palma Island. Okay? What happened? Folks, we are having tectonic plate movement. Tectonic plate movement. It's my belief, folks, my belief, that just off the coast, the southern coast of La Palma Island, the magma plume has left La Palma. I believe the magma plume has left La Palma Island. And now we have another earthquake just south of La Palma Island. Okay? South of La Palma Island. This is a 2.7 earthquake. I believe this is because the lava plume has moved south. The tectonic plate moved, and now the magma plume is south of La Palma Island. Okay? And of course they're not going to show that to you. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Now, while we're down here in the North Atlantic, before I go north, because we're definitely going north. Okay? I'm going to zoom out here and go out to the mid-Atlantic ridge. Okay? The good old mid-Atlantic ridge, right here. Right where the Azores craton is, okay? Where that earthquake fault is. We have another earthquake here. It's a 2.7. It's not on the Azores Ridge. It's not near the Azores. This is a 2.7 earthquake on the Mid-Atlantic Fault. A 2.7 magnitude earthquake on the Mid-Atlantic Fault. They're saying it's Portugal. I don't think so. Now, let's go over here to Iceland. They're definitely not showing us anything going on here in Iceland. That's a crying shame. That's a crying shame. Look what we have here. Earthquakes off the north shore of Iceland. Earthquakes over here. Oh, darn it. Dadgum, those stupid ads. I hate that. Over here off the north shore of Iceland, over on the eastern side of Iceland, look what we got. Look at those earthquakes under that ice sheet. That ice sheet, guys. Guess what? That ice sheet is a volcano. Underneath that ice sheet, we have a volcano. We have a 1 point, this is called Grimsfjall. Grimsfjall. Okay? We have a 1.0 tremor there. Okay? And then over here on the earthquake fault, the Mid-Atlantic Fault that cuts through Iceland. This is a 1.0 tremor. North of there, you see these other earthquakes to the north of there. Okay? Oh, darn it. These stupid ads. I'm going to take this phone back to them. This is the phone that I got from T-Mobile. And ever since I got this new Samsung phone, all I get is ads. Play Store ads all over the place. And it's not from any software that I pulled off of Play Store. It has nothing to do that. Okay? I don't play games on this phone. I don't think I played games in years. Okay? I've never played games on this phone. Don't want to, won't. Okay? North of that volcano, we have a 1.3 and another 1.3 right there. Right on the Mid-Atlantic Fault that cuts through Iceland. Okay? Up north, also on the Mid-Atlantic Fault, just offshore. Okay, we have a 1.1 and a 1.0 right there. North of there, we also have another 1.7 here. Okay, we have plenty of earthquakes down here at the volcano. At the volcano. Folks, they are still limiting the people to see this volcano. Now, I want to explain something here. Okay, this is the Lilla Rutur volcano. Liaahrutur. The Lilla Rutur volcano. Right here. There's actually two volcanoes. The one that was erupting last year and this new one. Okay? Guess what happens? Okay? The SO4. We talked about sulfur dioxide. Guess what? This is a little bit different. The sulfur dioxide has mixed with another chemical. It's called sulfur, oh gosh, what are they calling this? They're calling it think it's called sulfur oxide, not dioxide, but sulfur oxide, SO4. The gas has left the volcano area where it erupted first. The prevailing breezes and winds have taken it into the town of Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. Now, folks, they have another problem with dangerous SO4 buildup. So they're telling people to stay indoors if possible, out of the direct inhalation of the sulfur oxide, okay, the SO4 gas. And it has actually, let me see, I think I've got a picture of it here. I believe I have a picture of it here. Oh, come on. Have to play a game here, too. It's not that big a game, though. Just a second. I'll get this. I want to show you the atmosphere that they are having to put up with. Oh, you're kidding me. They have a blue-gray fog that's hanging over Reykjavik, and it's bad. Okay? Reykjavik is like a big valley where this smog from the volcano blew in, or VOG, volcanic gas. Okay? That VOG moved in, and it's hanging over the city of Reykjavik. It's kind of like a bluish-green haze. Okay? Just like we see sometimes over Los Angeles, or Houston, or Dallas, or any great big large city. Salt Lake City, for example. Okay? In Salt Lake, we have this brown haze, this brownish gray haze. Hate it. Hate it. Can't hardly breathe sometimes when that haze comes in. In this case, it's VOG, volcanic gas. Okay? That's what's happened because of that volcano. And they're still trying to limit people going out to the volcano. Too many people are starting, or have even tried, to get too near the lava. And that stuff will burn you to death in an instant. So they're having trouble controlling the crowds to keep wanting to intrude on the volcano. Not a thing to do. Not a good, wise thing to do at all. Okay? It's kind of stupid, actually. Kind of stupid. Now, I promised you that we would talk about some volcanoes, and we have. We're not done yet. This is a picture of Mount Shasta from just a short time ago. This is Mount Shasta from just a short time ago. I've been meaning to show this to you. I have 3 pictures of Mount Shasta. Now you can see the haze over the top of the volcano. Okay? You can see the fog, or not the fog, the cloud base over the top of Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is releasing gas and steam. Gas and steam here, guys. Look at that. Some of that steam is settling around that circle of rock near the center of the volcano. It's settling in those small valleys and crevices around the center of the volcano. Most of it is settling up at the top summit and move out. It's moving out away from the volcano. But this is Mount Shasta, guys. I've been meaning to show this to you for a couple weeks. It's incredible. One of you sent it to me in a text message, and I finally had the time to put it on here tonight. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the other volcanoes that are erupting. We talked about Krakatoa. Let's go over to the USGS map again. Let's go over to South and Central America. Okay, I want to show you South and Central America here. Let's take down my mug here. I want the earthquake map here. I took down the major part of my mug here. Let's leave Iceland. Let's go over here to Central and South America, because this is what we're primarily going to be discussing the rest of this program. Over here, this earthquake they have listed here is in southern Mexico. This is a 4.3 moderate earthquake. This is not the only moderate earthquake that hit here in southern Mexico. They probably had a dozen or so moderate earthquakes, and small earthquakes and minor earthquakes all over this area here in southern Mexico and stretching up here to the Riviera of Mexico near Acapulco. Okay? A bunch of earthquakes, probably 25 earthquakes here in Mexico today, right in this area. But we have 3 volcanoes over here in Guatemala that we want to talk about. Okay? This is wild, guys. We've had upwards of 4 volcanoes here before, so this is really nothing new to have 3 here. We've got Fuego Volcano. Well, guess what, guys? Fuego Volcano erupted up to 22,000 feet high today. 22,000 feet. Isn't that wild? 22,000 feet. One of its sisters down there in Guatemala is called Santiaguito Volcano. That volcano there, Santiaguito, erupted up to 19,000 feet. 19,000 foot eruption. Now, I do not have the 3rd volcano listed here, but we don't have an eruption height yet. That's I now remember we did not have an eruption height, so I didn't post it here. But it's a big deal too. 3 volcanoes in Guatemala erupting. Okay? We go north of there up into south central Mexico. I can't even say south central. It's southeast of Mexico City, right over here. Right over here. Maybe it's right here. Popocatépetl Volcano. Popocatépetl Volcano has erupted. Another large eruption at Popocatépetl today. 19,000 feet high. Huge eruption here at Popo. That's what they call it down in Mexico. Popo Volcano. Okay, then we went down, like I said, to Guatemala. That's fair, no problem, because that's where we have volcanoes down there in Central America here. But we go all the way south here into Colombia, over here into southern Colombia. Well, guess what, guys? Nevado del Ruiz. Nevado del Ruiz right here. Nevado del Ruiz erupted as well. It erupted up to 20,000 feet high. 20,000 feet high, guys. And it's not over. We have 2 more volcanoes to talk about here. Wild. All kinds of fun here. Here is an earthquake in southern Peru. This is a 4.4 earthquake in southern Peru. This is not very far from 2 erupting volcanoes here. This is 4.4, 77 kilometers deep, or miles deep. 77 miles deep. This is down in the plastic magma area, what they call the asthenosphere. Okay? That 4.4 came up from the asthenosphere, way down beneath the crust of the Earth. The crust of the Earth is anywhere from 39 to 69 miles deep. This is 77 miles deep. In this same area, guys, we have two more volcanoes. Two great big volcanoes that are erupting. We have Sabancaya volcano. I showed a picture to you of Sabancaya last week. Sabancaya volcano erupted up to 23,000 feet high. Huge. Ubinas, U-B-I-N-A-S, U-B-I-N-A-S volcano, 27,000 foot high, 8,200 meters high, 72,000 feet high, or 27,000 feet high. 27,000 feet high. That's huge. Fuego was 15,000 feet, 4,600 meters. Ubina is 8,200 meters, twice the height of Fuego volcano. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Now, there's something else that I want to talk to you about, okay? Something else besides volcanoes and earthquakes. So we're going to leave that. Folks, there's a lot going on in our world. A ton of things going on in our world. Folks, we've had two fires. One down in Arizona last night. This one here is in Bowling Green, Kentucky, early this morning. Bowling Green Fire Department got this call at 1:32 a.m. this morning. Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's a small office complex down there. Okay? Small office complex. Senator Rand Paul lost his office in this fire early this morning in downtown Bowling Green. The office was also an office to attorneys and a small store. Officials with Senator Paul's office said today the fire started early this morning at the building on State Street, according to the Bowling Green Fire Department. Okay, the building contained a law office, Senator Paul's office in Kentucky, and a retail store. According to the Bowling Green Daily News, which first reported the fire, the roof of the structure had collapsed. The Bowling Green police, guys, the Bowling Green police were there helping the Bowling Green Fire Department contain that fire. And now the Bowling Green police are investigating that fire along with the senator's office and the fire department. Okay? And I might also say the FBI, since Senator Paul is a senator. No injuries were reported, luckily, because it happened in the middle of the night. Okay? Senator Paul said this morning that they are thankful that the Bowling Green first responders arrived quickly to put out the fire, and they're continuing to work with authorities to assess the damages and determine the cause. Senator Paul said we have a very well-established emergency management plan and the ability to continue operations that will not impact our work helping people in Kentucky. Senator Paul said they are working with authorities to determine the cause. Okay? The authorities also include the FBI, because Senator Paul is a senator. Interesting, huh? All kinds of things happen, don't they? All kinds of things happen when they least expect it. And it's interesting to say this, that this fire hit here because Rand Paul has had some very important cases that he's been working in the U.S. Senate. And there is talk, and right now it's nothing more than rumor control, but there's talk that this fire might be related to that. We don't know for sure yet. Like he said, authorities are working to determine the cause of that fire. Does anybody have any questions for Uncle Ron tonight? Okay? We talked a lot about things that are happening, earthquakes and volcanoes. I've shown you reasons for almost all of them. Almost all of them. Okay? Does anybody have any questions for Uncle Ron? Okay? Yes, I'm an uncle. I am a grandpa. I've got nieces and nephews. I've got just a little bit of everything. It's crazy. Does anybody have any questions? Mark is asking if I got my rock collection from him. Yes, Mark, I showed your rocks yesterday or the day before. They did come in. Mark Stolt is here asking about did we get our rocks. Yes, we did. We got about 10 rocks here. Beautiful, polished tigerite. Gorgeous, gorgeous rocks. Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate that. Michael McKinney's asking how about shaking in California. California is having a lot of shaking. 3.0 over in Los Angeles area, 2.5 on the eastern side, up there near Mariloma, 2.5 down in San Diego area. Palomar Mountain had some tremors over on the northeastern side of San Diego County. Those tremors were caused by the Elsinore Fault as it intersects Palomar Mountain. Down in the Imperial Valley, we have about 300 earthquakes. 300 earthquakes all over the valley. Okay? From the eastern side over at Bombay Beach to the western side at Salted City to over by Westmoreland. Okay? Juanito might have felt those in Westmoreland because he lives over that way. Okay? Over by Holtville. The Salton Sea Desert Research Station in Holtville are reporting 2.0, 1.7, and several other tremors. All over there. Now, to be fair, even at Calipatria, Calipatria's had about 150 recorded earthquakes. Calipatria alone. El Centro has had some 3s and 4s. El Centro Naval Air Station, where the seismograph is, has got 3 and 4.0 earthquakes. That entire Imperial Valley is ripe for a very large destructive quake. Okay? Yes, we have sensitive faults, just minor, really tiny faults all over the Imperial Valley. All over that desert community. Small faults all over. But it's not just those small faults. What is bringing that energy to the Imperial Valley? Can you say? I hate to even say that. The San Andreas Fault on the east side, and the San Andreas Fault cuts under the Salton Sea and emerges right around Nyland and Calipatria area. Then it moves southwest over towards Westmoreland. Then it cuts almost straight southeast all the way down through the Imperial Valley, down past Holtville, down into Mexico. Yeah, the San Andreas Fault. And then over on the west side of the Salton Sea, we have the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault that comes out of Orange County in that area, Riverside County area. Okay? Huge. Huge. That's why we have these earthquakes hitting the Imperial Valley. They come down those faults and they center on the Imperial Valley. All the subsequent ancillary faults all over the valley. That's what's happening. Okay? Literally everywhere. Or okay, Juanito says he lives in El Centro. Juanito, did you feel any of those quakes over there? Yes, they were small and only, I believe, one moderate quake, one 4.5. He says he's been feeling some shaking there in El Centro. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Guys, you guys down in El Centro need to be looking out. There's a much larger earthquake coming. It's rocking and rolling all over Southern California and even Northern California. Up on the San Andreas Fault around, what's it called? Parkfield, California. Tremors all over there. Tremors up just east of Monterey Bay. All over the Hayward Fault. Oh yeah. It's all over that whole area, guys. We have two major faults on the east side of San Francisco Bay. And it doesn't help that we have the San Andreas on the west side of San Francisco Bay. Crazy. Crazy. All over California, guys. Literally. Oh, let me show you something. Before we go, let me bring up the USGS map here again. I'm sorry. I'm not quite done. Let me show you this. I almost forgot to show you this. Okay. Oh, there's a new earthquake over here in Venezuela. Actually, it's northern Colombia. It's on the border of Venezuela and Colombia. This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake over here. Wonderful thing, huh? And now they've decided to make sure to make my life a little interesting, and that's okay. We've dealt with this before. We can deal with it again. Not a problem. And if I'm not mistaken, this should take us, took us over the U.S., or to the U.S. map here. Let's go over here. Let's take a little bit of a trip. I just love these trips. I just love these trips, okay? Remember me telling you about seismic energy over here on the Gorda Escarpment, the Triple Junction area with the San Andreas and the Cascade subductions on here? Remember we had this earthquake here? This is Almanor, California. I don't know whether I mentioned it before or not. Remember when we had those 5.5 and 5.7 and all those other tremors here? Almanor, California is still moving. This whole area is moving, guys. The whole area is moving. Look at this earthquake north of Tahoe. This is Florestan, California. This is a 2.6. What earthquake is directly south of there? The Walker Lane Fault. This is a 2.2 on the Walker Lane Fault. And further north here is a 1.5 in Dayton, Nevada. This is all along the Walker Lane Fault, guys, and what's going to happen. The Walker Lane Fault, guys, goes all the way over here to Pyramid Lake. The Walker Lane Fault goes all the way up here to Pyramid Lake. This is a volcano. This is a volcano. What happens here? Sometime in the future, we don't know when it's going to happen. We have no idea when this is going to happen. I've talked about this before in this program. Okay? If you look at the Navy map, you can Google it, DuckDuckGo it. whatever search engine you use. Okay? A great big huge inland sea starts down here in the Gulf of California. What else is here? The San Andreas Fault. This inland sea opens up. There's a great big huge rift zone that will open up. A great big huge fissure that's going to open up. It's going to go all the way up here. It's going to continue up here to the around. It's going to go past Mammoth Mountain. It's going to go all the way up here to the Walker Lane Fault. It's going to go all the way up here to Pyramid Lake. It's going to be a huge inland sea. A huge inland sea. And the towns and cities that are on either side of it will become seaports. Okay? There is a reason why they say rivers and waterways are usually an earthquake fault. That holds true here. Because the Walker Lane Fault connects all the way down here. Connects all the way down here with the San Andreas. That's why we're having earthquakes. And I forgot to tell you something, okay, really quick. This is Tom's Place, California, Mammoth Mountain. This is a 1.5 tremor. Right up here just to the north, this is Mammoth Lakes. This is a 1.1 tremor. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what's going to happen? Mammoth Mountain has still got snow on it. A volcano that still has snow on it. They got so much snow there, they still have snow on it. Their ski resort is going to be open until August 8th. The Mammoth Ski Resort is going to be open until August 8th. Just thought I'd like to share that little bit of information with you. August 8th, guys, that's incredible. I have not honestly ever seen Mammoth Mountain. When I was in California, rarely did we see Mammoth Mountain open after May. Now it's still open to skiing right now. Right here, right now. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Something else that I forgot to tell you about earlier. Someone else that I truly admired during my life. Someone that my parents loved. Someone that my parents loved passed away today. Mr. Tony Bennett, the tenor/baritone crooner, who, along with Frank Sinatra and other people, gave us wonderful music to listen to. Some dance music, other music to just listen to and ponder the words of the music. Mr. Bennett I met back in the 90s when I was a police officer in downtown San Diego, walking a beat. I was walking in downtown San Diego, and Tony Bennett was there walking with a news reporter from a local news station. Apparently he was going to be doing an interview. Tony Bennett got closer and closer, and he said, "Two of my favorite people." And he reached out his hand and says, "Hi, I'm Tony Bennett." That was how I met a historical figure. Historical in the way of music. Tony Bennett died today. He was age 96. Age 96. There was no real reason given for his death, but other than what I believe may be just old age. Okay? From his initial success as a jazzy crooner through his generation spanning decades, literally, His career was largely remarkable for its longevity and its consistency. Tony Bennett was loved by millions of people here in the United States and around the world. Tony Bennett dead today at age 96. Farewell to a friend. Rest in peace, Tony Bennett. We love you. I met this wonderful man long, long time ago. Until we meet again, brother, God rest you in peace. Folks, before I leave you, and I know we've gone well over time tonight, well past what I wanted to do, okay? I wanted to read a scripture for you, okay? Now I can't find it here. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Well, this is good enough for right now. One of my favorite scriptures I can't even find right now. This is crazy. But this is also good scripture. This is Romans chapter 8. I want to start off with verse 15. I don't think I've ever shared this particular scripture with you before. Romans 8 verse 15. For ye have not yet received the spirit of bondage again to fear. Doesn't that sound like what we're doing here? We have not been yet in bondage to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. Isn't that a wonderful blessing, to be glorified together? For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Yes, glory will be revealed in us. We are servants of our Heavenly Father. We are servants of our Heavenly Father. We're put down here on earth to fulfill a mission. To fulfill a mission. Folks, we have many blessings coming our way. Some of us have had blessings so far, but even greater blessings are coming our way if we live the gospel. If we continue to live the gospel and believe, follow Jesus Christ, follow in his footsteps, follow in our elder brother Jesus Christ's footsteps. Through him we shall see revealed blessings in our day. God bless you all. I love you all so very much. I really do. You make my day better. I feel privileged to be with you. I love you all. I hope you all have a great night and a better tomorrow. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back here to tell you about it as soon as the information comes to us. Until then, as Walter Cronkite used to say, and that's the way it is. Friday, July 21st, 2023. For CBS News, not CBS News, this is Emergency Management Associates. Have a good night, guys. We will see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love.